Well, good evening, folks, and welcome back. Cumberland Outdoorsman out here at my shooting bench with another American classic. What I'm presenting to you this evening is the Remington Model 870. Here I've got one in my lap. It's an old Remington 870 Wingmaster in 16 gauge. Now, the Remington 870 was first released in 1951. And since that time, there have been over 11 million of those shotguns produced in various configurations. Most of them were sporting arms used for hunting or for target shooting. But there were also very many of them made that were used for self-defense and for combat. But the ones that we're interested in are for sporting use. And the two that I've got here, one on the table and the one here in my lap, are both for hunting, for sporting use. Like I said, this one here is a 16 gauge Remington Wingmaster. And the Wingmaster was a little bit more refined than the Remington 870 Express. Both of them are identical designs, but the Wingmaster was just more finely polished and just a more presentable gun, I would say. But this one here has been through the mill, folks. This one belonged to an old gentleman that's no longer with us, and he was the grandfather of a friend of mine that I work with, who so generously and kindly loaned this gun to me so that I could present it to you in this video. This gun here has been in the field many a day, as you can see from all the scratches on the stock and on the gun itself, the worn bluing from being carried for many hours. And he was a rabbit hunter. You know, he used this for rabbit hunting, and it's been through a lot of briar thickets and barbed wire fences and whatever else you encounter while you're out rabbit hunting. But this gun here is still functional and in good condition mechanically. The Remington 870 has two of these slide bars, these action bars here, and that's what makes them so dependable. Now, the other one I've got here on the table you've seen before. I've presented this one in the past. This is my Remington 12 gauge 870 Magnum Express, as you can see here on the receiver. And I owned this gun since it was brand new, and I used it primarily for turkey hunting. I harvested my first longbeard with this shotgun right here. And it throws an excellent pattern. I've taken many turkeys with this, but I've also used it for rabbit hunting. I've used it for, I think, some squirrel hunting in the past. I've hunted doves with it and quail. And it's a little bit heavy because it is an Express Magnum, but I'll tell you what, it's a great shooter. Very dependable, very rugged. When I first got it, it came with a slug barrel, which I still have, so I can realistically deer hunt with this gun as well. But I decided to upgrade this gun. It came with the stock and the forend being made out of regular stained hardwood, walnut stained hardwood, but instead I installed these American walnut stock and forend pieces on this gun with cut checkering and a very nice Remington recoil pad here. And it dressed up the gun very well, very nicely. Just been a great shotgun. This one here, of course, has a ventilated rib, as does the 16 gauge. And this being a newer model, comes with interchangeable chokes, of course, the rim choke system. And in order to change out the barrel on these 870s, they're real easy to change out. First of all, make sure the gun is unloaded, of course. Put it on safe. And here on the end, you have this cap here that unscrews. And then you just lift the barrel out. Just like that. Now you can swap barrels to whatever is suitable for what kind of game you're hunting or whatever you're shooting at, whether you're shooting trap or skeet or whatever. But I usually keep this barrel on here because it came with the gun. But if you want a shorter barrel, you can get shorter shotgun barrels. You know, if you want to go turkey hunting with, say, a 26 or a 24-inch barrel, they are available. And I'll tell you what, it's just a very versatile, very handy shotgun. Now, what I've got here on the table is some Remington shot shells. I just got these. These are brand new. And these are in 16 gauge, folks. So those of you that own a 16 gauge, no matter what it is, these are still very much available. Remington still makes these. I think Federal and Winchester. You know, there's so many manufacturers that still produce 16 gauge ammunition. This is 1 ounce of number 8 shot that's suitable for dove or quail hunting, as it is listed here on the box. But you can use these for skeet shooting, which we're going to do here in just a moment anyway. And I've got some vintage ammunition here that was very kindly given to me by a good friend of mine that owns a gun store here in Clarksville, Tennessee on Fort Campbell Boulevard. He owns Tennessee Gun Country, and he saw that I was going to make a video with the 16 gauge, and he said, here, take you a couple of boxes of these home with you. And I was like, wow, that's really cool. These shotgun shells were made at a time when Remington was partnered up with DuPont. There you can see the DuPont label on the box. So I would say these date back into the 1970s at the very least. And I'm not really sure. Let me take one out of the box and show it to you. These have their famous power piston advertised on the box. These are Express power pistons. Number 6 high brass. These would be perfect for rabbit hunting or pheasant hunting or anything like that, grouse. These are 2 3/4 inch shells, and they've got 1 1/8 ounce of number 6 shot in them. I would say they're still very useful. I mean, the shape of the ammunition is just like brand new. I mean, none of the shells are tarnished. There's no rust or corrosion. They've been well taken care of. There you can see the primer still nice and bright. There's the crimp. This probably brings back some memories for many of you out there that use these shells. That's a different type of crimp that they made back then. So we're going to try out that old 16 gauge while we've got it out here. Now, since Remington sponsors my channel, they sent me some of these Peters shells. Peters was a cartridge company that produced cartridges for a long time, and then they became part of Remington, I think back in the 1930s or something. But anyway, there's a bit of history here on the back of this shell. These are paper shells, by the way. I'll take one out and show it to you. There it is. Beautiful crimp on that shell. These are in 12 gauge. And they've got 1 1/8 ounce of number 7.5 shot. But anyway, let me read this little bit of history on the back of this shell here. It says, the Peters Cartridge Company was founded in 1887 in Kings Mill, Ohio by Gershom Moore Peters, a manufacturer of gunpowder, black powder that is, and ammunition. The company forged a solid reputation for innovative high-performance rifle, pistol and revolver, and shotgun cartridges. Remington Arms purchased the Peters Cartridge Company in 1934 and became known as Remington Peters for a time. In fact, many Remington shell heads are stamped with R-P to this day. In 1960, Remington introduced the first shot shells with plastic hulls. Remington hulls were the infamous Remington green color, while Peters hulls were the distinctive Peters blue, as these are. Pretty neat. We'll try a few of these here in just a moment. We're going to be shooting at some clay targets here, some clay pigeons. And first of all, I really want to try out this old 16 gauge and see how well it shoots. I've got a skeet thrower here, and we'll give it a try here and see how well it'll pattern. So let's do a little bit of shooting. I went ahead and put my ear protection in, and I'll go ahead and get this old shotgun loaded up. Sounds great. I think you can see that skeet being thrown there. Wow. Throws a perfect pattern, folks. By the way, I didn't mention that this gun here is in modified choke. So there you can see that shell was ejected well and the primer hit perfectly. Alright, let's give it another shot here. Yep. Alright, let's give it another try here. Right on the money. That's fun. Alright. Here we go again. Well, got a few leaves with that one. All right. One more time here. I believe before it's over with, I'm going to remove all those leaves off that tree. All right. That's this old 16 gauge, and as you can see, it's still very effective. All right, I reset my skeet thrower so it'll throw a little bit more out in that open spot there. I think you'll be able to see the target a little bit better. Beautiful. What a good shooting old gun. Okay folks, now I'd like to try out some of these Remington Peters shells. Take us back in history a little bit more. There you can see how easily the 870 loads up. I mean, that's just why they're so dependable, because they just have a really positive loading system. It locks up good and tight. They're just great guns all around. All right. That's your paper shotgun shell there. Smoke still coming out. All right, here we go. By the way, this is also in modified choke. All right, last time here. Well, that's the 870 in action. As you can see, it makes hitting your target just that much easier when you've got a good, dependable shotgun. Very solidly built since 1951. So many of them still out there. If you like the 870 and you like Remington and you don't have one yet, I would recommend getting one. Well guys, as you can see from the fading light, I need to go ahead and close out this video. But before I go, let me mention a few more thoughts that I had while I was featuring this gun. One thing I didn't mention about the Remington Model 870 is that when Remington was making these, it came available in 12 gauge, like this one here, 16 gauge, 20 gauge, 28, and 410. So it pretty much covered the entire spectrum of gauges. And you should be able to find one to fit your needs if you're in the market for a good, dependable, rugged pump shotgun. I can't think personally of a better pump shotgun that's as versatile as the Remington Model 870. It's a good, rugged design that will last you a lifetime. You know, there's a good reason why police forces and the military have chosen the 870 design to stake their lives on. You know, it's just that dependable. And it doesn't matter if you're an upland bird hunter, a waterfowl hunter, a small game hunter, maybe you like to hunt rabbits, like this old shotgun here did in its day, or if you just like to shoot targets. And if you're a big game hunter, you can get rifled barrels and shoot slugs for deer hunting or hog hunting or even elk hunting. You know, they're very much capable of taking down big game. So the 870 is the sportsman's gun, in my opinion. You know, they're just great shotguns. What more can I say? And if you own one, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So anyway, folks, thanks for watching, and I appreciate it very much. And remember, if you like to go hunting, fishing, camping, shooting, hiking, no matter what your outdoor pursuit happens to be, I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. But also remember this: hit that like button, smash that bell icon, and subscribe. That way you'll know when more videos like this one will be coming your way. So until next time, y'all take good care of yourselves, get out there and enjoy the great outdoors, and if you go hunting or fishing, have a lot of fun, just make sure you do it safely. I'll see you.